Hey, hi students. Uh, so the last class we have talked about story, and for this class we will be talking more about the different types of stories, different types of narrations, and this is what we have done in the last class. How the story is developed, how you come to writing a story, and the steps where idea generation, you think about an idea, you come up to a concept or the basic idea of the story, then you make the one liner, you think about the basic story in just one or two lines, right? Then you think about the characters in the story, and a story might contain just one character or several characters, and then you create the narrative structure of the story, how the basic story will be. Then we have actually talked about the narrative, what we call a narrative, when you present a series of events, right? One event after one another. And whether it can be fictional, that means it can be imagination, or it can be from a real incident. That is basically which we call a narration. The essential elements of the story, character, settings, plot, conflict, which is the main problem in a story. Then it comes to the resolution or the final end in the story for the characters and everything, right? And we will learn about each of this in detail. Now we have also learned the types of narratives. We have learned that there is a linear narrative, non-linear narrative, quest narrative, viewpoint narrative. There are several others also. If you're reading from anywhere else, you might find different other names of narratives. But these are the few which are mostly used in movies, animations, etc. Because we are ultimately learning all these subjects to create movies, films, or animation, right? So these are some of the narratives in stories that we use majorly to make a movie or or an animation film. So let us start today by discussing what is a linear narrative, right? It's one of the most common form of narrative, and it's pretty easy. Okay, linear narrative is by the word linear, if you notice, okay, it tells about a line, right? A line, a straight line has a middle, has a beginning and an end, right? Imagine a straight line. So it's starting from somewhere, it has a middle part, and it's ending somewhere, right? Linear narratives are also like that. In a linear narrative, events of the story are in the order in which they actually happened. So how the story has actually happened, you are telling it like that, okay? You are starting from the beginning, then in a chronological way, chronology means one after another. I have told you in the last class also, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is in chronology, okay? 2 comes after 1, 3 comes after 2. So I'm not mentioning 3 first. I'm not mentioning 3, 2, 5, 8, 9, not like that. Okay. I'm telling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a chronology. Okay. For example, when I'm asking your attendance, right? I'm starting in a chronological order, right? Roll number 1, roll number 2, roll number 3, roll number 4, like that. So I'm calling out the names of the student in this class in a chronological order. All right. So linear narrative is talking about the incident or the story in a chronological order, how they actually happened. That's a correct order, right? This can lead the reader through events clearly. So I got up from the bed in the morning, then I washed my teeth, then I went and took a bath, then I dressed myself up, then I took my breakfast, then I went out with my car, then I went to the college. This is all a chronology. And however it happened from the morning, I am telling you like that. Got it? So when a story is told in this way, this is called a linear narrative. Okay, this can be accomplished. You can tell a story like this through any narrative perspective. Suppose, for example, a first person narration. First person narration is, I did this. I got up in the morning. Okay, this is first person narration. Second person narration or third person narration is, Mr. Anurag woke up in the morning and went to the college. This is third person narration. Okay, when you are actually telling about someone. Okay, second person narration is, my friend and me, we were talking about this class, right? So this is second person narration. So it can be achieved in any way. You can talk about this way in a linear narrative in whatever way you want. But remember this, again, I'm telling you, I'm repeating the thing, that linear narrative is talking about a story or an incident in the order in which they happened. Okay. In the beginning, whatever it happened, they are talking about it then. After the beginning, whatever it happened, that the story is telling about that. All right. So it has a proper beginning part, middle part, end part. Okay. So it's very easy for the audience to follow a linear narrative, and it is clearly understandable, right? And it has a proper end. The story is ending in a proper note. It has a strong beginning, it is ending also properly. Okay, so this is one of the most common type of narrative that is used in animation films, stories, short movies, etc. Okay, so this is basically the chart. If I draw the idea of linear narrative, this is what basically happens. So characters are introduced. This is the beginning. Okay. Then some event happens. Again, some event happens. So this is the beginning. Characters are introduced is the beginning. Okay. Then this line you are seeing, it is moving towards a climax, because the climax is the where the characters faces the problem and starts to act. The problem is introduced in either of this event number 1, event number 2, or event number 3, or there might be multiple events. There might be 4 or 5 events, or there might be just 1 or 2 events. Okay, generally it's more than one to make the story more interesting. I will give you an example, then you will understand it clearly. So this part is the middle. From event number 1 to this climax, this is the middle part. All right. The characters are introduced. This is the beginning. Okay. Then the climax happens, event with the greatest intensity, right? When the characters are fighting or the characters are solving the problem. Okay. Then the character deals with what happened, right? So the problem is solved and the characters is moving forward, move towards a resolution. Okay. Resolution means the end. The characters, whatever the characters are doing after the main event has occurred. So you give a proper ending. You tell the audience in this linear narrative that, see, this is my character. They are from here. They are from this place. They are doing this and this stuff. They are doing this thing, which is the problem or the conflict. Okay, they have to face this problem, or they have to achieve this goal. How they are going to face the problem, how they are going to take out the solution, that is the climax. Okay, they're facing the conflict, they're facing the problem, that is the climax part. After they have solved the problem, what are the characters are doing, right? That is the resolution. Okay, so in the like the fairy tales, you will read that then after this at the end of the story, so this and this character is living happily ever after. That is the end, that is the resolution. Okay, so the audience has a very clear idea about what has happened in the story, in which order. Okay, what is the beginning, where from the character is coming, what the character is doing, what is the problem, how they are soluting the problem. Then it comes to the end. The audience get a very clear idea about whatever it is happening, right? So linear narrative has a proper beginning, middle, end with a chronological order of the story. That means in a series of how the events actually happen. Got it? So three-act structure that we are talking about, with three-act structure means beginning, middle, end. 3 acts, okay, 3 part, right? So linear narrative mostly has a 3-act structure. It has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end. Okay, in the beginning, what happens is mostly the introduction of major characters, the location. The story moves towards the conflict, the first initiation. Okay, remember this word, initiation. Initiation means in the story, something is introduced, okay, something is told that the character is moving towards front, whatever the story is moving towards front. So if I say that character A, for example, okay, Adam was a good Adam was a boy who was living in Guangzhou, China, right? He went to GDUT in PNU campus. Okay, he used to go to the college every day morning, and the classes starts from 8:30 in the morning. Okay, so this is the introduction. You know where the character is coming, where the character is going. You know the name of the character, where the character goes every day. So you know that basically. Okay, so now you say, then Adam, when one day he took a bus and he went to somewhere else. The bus traveled to somewhere else. So you know when this line or this part of the story is introduced, that whatever Adam was doing, something different happened, right? Something new happened in the story. So this is the first initiation. That means the story, whoever is reading the story knows that something is going to happen over here. Okay, so this is called the first initiation. Next is the middle part. Now Adam is going on the bus and the bus is going somewhere else, and he saw that he landed in a city which is completely new. He never have come to this city, and he there met another guy named John, right? So you introduced another character. Sometimes you introduce a villain, the bad guy, right? In this part of the story. Okay. Then what Adam is talking with John, who is John, all this thing is the second initiation. All right. So in this story, the first initiation is Adam is going, has boarded the bus, and the bus has gone to a new place. Okay. Second initiation in the middle part is that Adam has met another character and he doesn't know where he is, and he has met John, and John is talking to him and asking him, where have you come from? This is a new place. I have also come from another city, right? So this is a second initiation. So the story is getting much more interesting, and the major conflict, how Adam wants to go back to Guangzhou. Adam wants to go back to GDUT. Adam wants to go back to his home. So Adam and John, they are searching they're traveling in this new city and trying to find out a way to go home. Okay, so this is the major conflict. So now readers will try to know how Adam is trying to solve the problem that he is in a new city and he wants to go back to his own city. Okay, this is the major conflict. So whatever it's written here, Adam is going to the city, he's meeting new people, he's seeing buildings which he have never seen before, he's hungry, he have not ate anything, he don't have much money because he was going to college, blah, blah, blah stuff. Whatever it's written here, this is a major conflict. So characters are trying to solve the conflict. Okay, this is the middle part. And it is moving towards the end part that finally they found out a train which will take them to Guangzhou, but they don't have any money to buy the ticket. Okay, and the train inspector won't let them board the train without the ticket, but they have to go to their home, back to their home. So so all these things, as the characters are trying, they are finding they have found a solution and they want to solve the problem. This is the climax where the story gets most interesting. Okay, so finally the resolution, where finally after all these problems they could board the train, they told other passengers, whatever is the climax. Then the resolution that they finally reached Guangzhou and they could go home, right? And Adam and John, they became friends and they went home, right? So this is the end. So this story, whatever I say, the story of Adam had a proper beginning. You start by introducing the character and where the character is. So the character is Adam and the location is Guangzhou, right? So the story is moving towards a conflict that Adam have went to a new city, which is the first initiation. The middle part, where they're in the new city, he have made another character who is called John. Okay, you introduce another character. This is the second initiation. Okay, there can be more things like this. Then they want to go home. They don't know this city. Everyone is new over here. It's a very dangerous place. All these things. So the major conflict of the story is Adam and John is in the new city. They want to go back to Guangzhou, right? So the characters are trying to solve the problem, how to go back. Then comes the climax that finally they have solved the problem, which is the most interesting part. You will have a lot of action over here, right? A lot of things is happening in this part, right? And the resolution finally, where the character has finally solved the problem and come back home or couldn't solve the problem, right? It can be a sad ending that Adam was lost forever. Okay, it can be a sad ending, but whatever it is the ending of the story. All right. So linear narrative will have this one after the other, how it actually happened. I told the story to you in that way. Okay. It will be much more clear when I'll talk with an example and when I'll be talking about non-linear narrative. You will understand the difference. Okay, so linear narrative examples, many motion pictures and animation films are usually linear narrative. That means we see the event of the story as it happens, unfolding in the order in which they occur. For example, if you have seen the animation Toy Story, a very good animation film, if you have not seen, you should see. Okay, in that story, we follow these two characters, Woody and Buzz, adventure in a linear order. Okay, starting in the beginning and ending with the conclusion of the story. Okay, linear narratives are the most common form. Jurassic Park, Shrek, Tangled, a lot of other films are all examples of linear narrative. All right, so I guess you have got a basic idea about linear narrative. Okay, what I will do now is I will be giving an example of linear narrative, discussing two examples. Okay, one is an animation film, which is Wall-E. If you have seen the animation film, I don't know, or else after the class, you can see this film. Again, guys, a lot of animation films, stories, etc. you have to see and read. Okay, there is another short story. Okay, it's a very, very famous short story by a writer called Mopasa. The necklace, I will be discussing that and explaining to you how or what linear narrative is and how do you actually do this events and climax and resolution, and how do you actually come to the beginning, middle, and end, etc. Okay, so just 1 minute break I'll take here, and I will be showing you the animation first by and explaining the stuff. Okay. All right. So now I will be sharing the screen for the animation. I guess you can see everyone. So Wally, have you, if you have seen the movie, you will understand more. If you have not, I will not show you the whole movie now, but I will explain the whole story. But if you have not seen the film, you can see the film surely, right? So in this film, you have at the beginning, okay, so this is the location, right? So this is the location view. We got an idea. See, in the beginning of the film, there's a space. Um, they're showing the galaxy, they're showing the world. So the basic idea of the story that it is happening, where it is happening, when it is happening. So they are showing the world. You have say all these darts and everything around the world, right? So it looks like a very different place, right? We all know this is the world, this is the earth, but it looks like a very different place. Something is all in the atmosphere and all. Okay, sorry, the end part, right? So the middle part of the story is the biggest part, the longest part. So this is about this film. I will just discuss about the um, story now, okay? Because why I'm discussing about the story is you have seen the film now. Uh, let us discuss about written story. So again, read the story in detail. Okay, you will find it in internet. You can actually copy this, note it down, this address, website address, and you can find it here. Okay, it's a very famous story. It might be translated in Chinese also, but read the English one. It's a short story. So the story is about, in the beginning of the story, there is this character, okay, whose name was not mentioned, and but this character, how this character is, what is the what the character does, how the character feels, everything, and this is written in a third person. She dressed plainly because she had never been able to afford anything better, but she was an unhappy she was as unhappy as if she had once been wealthy. So all this is third person. Somebody else is writing for someone else, right? So beginning in the character detail or and the character's mentality, emotions, state of mind, where the character used to stay, everything, etc. is written. Okay. Then the first initiation is that the character is basically not too rich. Okay. This female character is not too rich. And one evening, this first part is the introduction to the character. Okay. The second part, when the second part starts, the female character's husband is introduced in the story. One evening, her husband came home with an air of triumph, holding a large envelope in his hand. So, first initiation, like in the film also, here, the first initiation. Look, he said, here's something for you, right? Then the character is, what is the main thing that is happening? That there is a dinner request for this couple. And for that, there is a conflict that there is the character, which is the first initiation again, that the female character complains that she don't have anything to wear, a nice jewelry for this dinner invitation, right? So they went to the to her friend, who actually gave them a very nice jewelry. Okay. That's the first part. The middle part starts that when they went to this dinner, after the dinner, okay, when he came back, the dinner, everyone noticed her. She was wearing this extremely nice, very costly kind of jewelry and everything. So when she came back, she noticed that she don't have that necklace, that jewelry, okay, that she took from her friend. She took the very costly necklace just in a loan. Her friend just gave her to wear it for that one day, okay. But when she came back from that dinner party, she noticed that she don't have that necklace anymore, okay. So that is how that this is the main conflict, this is the main problem that happened in the story, right? Then they tried to find it, search it everywhere. It's none of the place they could find it. Then after that, for a long time, they tried to get the money. Okay, they went to a shop and asked for that necklace, and the necklace costed a lot of money, 40,000 francs. Okay, so after that, for a long time, they went to gather all that money by doing a lot of works, by doing a lot of housework, laborers works, etc., for a long period of 10 years. Okay, this is the middle part, how they solve the conflict, how they solve the problem. All right. So this is a long, what you say, a long end kind of a thing, that they are trying to solve the problem that happened for a long period of time. And finally, they got the money to buy that necklace, okay, after 10 years. And they gave the money, gave the necklace to her friend. All right. Then at the end, this is how the resolution is. This is how the end is. That I'll just read it here, okay, because this is a very short part. One Sunday, as she was walking in the Champs-Élysées to refresh herself after the week's work, suddenly she saw a woman walking with a child. It was Madame Forrester, still young, still beautiful, still charming. Madame Loisel, which is the main character's name, Madame Loisel felt emotional. Should she speak to her? Yes, of course. And now that she had paid, she could tell her all. So before this, she had already paid the whole money. to this person, right? Why not? She went up to her. Good morning, Jean. The other, astonished to be addressed so familiarly by this common woman, did not recognize her because she changed with, because she did so much work for 10 years to gather that much of amount of money, because she have lost that necklace. She stammered, but madam, I don't know. You must have made a mistake. No, I am Matilde Luel. Her friend uttered a cry. Oh, my poor Matilde, how you have changed. Yes, I have had some hard times since I last saw you, and many miseries, and all because of you. Me, how can that be? You remember that diamond necklace that you lent me to wear to the ministry party? Yes, well, I lost it. What do you mean? You brought it back. I brought you back another exactly like that. And it has taken us 10 years to pay for it. It wasn't easy for us, we had very little. But at last, it is over, and I'm very glad. Benham Forrester was stunned. You say that you bought a diamond necklace to replace mine? Yes, you didn't notice then? They were very similar. And she smiled with proud and innocent pleasure. Madame Forrester, deeply moved, took both her hands. Oh, my poor Matilde, mine was an imitation. It was worth 500 francs at most. The story ends. So the necklace that she have got from her friend was, that's not a real diamond necklace. That's a imitation. And this person, her friend, because she have lost it, she gathered all the money to buy the real diamond necklace and gave it to her. So at the last, when they had a conversation, her friend told that it is not a real, it was not a real, it was mostly 500 francs, right? And she have gathered 40,000 francs to buy the real diamond necklace, right? So this is a story ends. So again, it has a beginning, first initiation when the letter came for the dinner invitation, second initiation when they went there and she lost it, right? Now they have to gather the money, take the money. So the middle part of the story, how they are getting the money to buy that necklace. And at the last, the conflict ends, the climax ends with this conversation, right? So this one do not have a proper resolution, but we know how both the characters felt because they had a conversation, right? So this is also an example of a linear narrative. Okay. So I guess you guys are a little clear about linear narrative. Beginning, middle, end, a proper beginning, a proper middle, a proper end. Firstly, secondly, it starts chronologically towards and moves chronologically towards the end. That means however it happened, the story is written like that. Okay, there is no overlapping that later incidents are told in the beginning. Okay, anything like that. So what you need to do is watch this film animation WALL-E and read this story, Mufasa's necklace. There are other more examples also, but these two, as we have discussed already in the class, if you watch it and read it, it will be much better. Okay, so the video lecture stops here. Now, after a short break, I will be coming up live in the live class and discuss with you. If you have any questions, you kindly put it up forward. Okay, I expect to hear questions from you. And if you have not understood anything, tell me, I will explain to you again in the class. Okay, so I'll stop the video over here, take a break, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We will come back in the live class.